Warning! This video contains rumors, speculation, strong opinions, and a Mad Max. And I'm mad on this one because one of my favorite Star Wars shows, which might surprise you, is Roll of Two on Collider. I know what you're saying. But I'm going to actually tag Mark Fernandez, CEO of Collider, on this one because I was I didn't get to this episode yet, but I was very upset with last week's episode of Roll of Two. And this is what we're going to be talking about in this episode, talking about boycotting movies in Captain Marvel in Star Wars Episode 9. And the opinion of Roll of Two is supposed to get like two sides of an opinion, try to bring the fans together to work things out. But they were one note in this episode: if you boycott, you're wrong and you're not a fan. And I want you to comment below in this episode of mine here saying what you feel about that. Explain yourself to Mark, so maybe he'll look at this video. I'm not sure. I am going to link him to it on Twitter. And I hate Twitter, by the way, but that's how I'm going to do it. So let's get into it. And I'll tell you that Mark Fernandez, fans actually buy their tickets. They don't get screeners. They don't complain about talking movies when they're on a movie channel on YouTube when it's their job, like Harloff does. They wait in line, unlike the pretentious Christian Harloff that complains when he doesn't get invited to Galaxy Edge preview for press. Fans are the ones that actually support fandom with their hard-earned money, not show for movie companies in exchange for access and exclusives. How dare you say that we are wrong when the only thing we're doing is not buying a ticket? Something that the Collider crew is actually used to. Collider crew doesn't buy their tickets either. Except this time, we're not kissing ass or being a red carpet muncher to go see it. Now, in the episode of Roll of Two where Mark Fernandez says you are wrong if you boycott, if you are a fan of a sports team, you show up and go and support every game. And then Riley says, you must not be a fan then. I say we are the ones that are real fans, instead of being Disney zombie fanboys. A sports team will use their best players to play in the game. Lucasfilm, led by Kathy Kennedy, fires the best players, Lord and Miller, doesn't even acknowledge one of their star players, Dave Filoni, in the excellent conclusion to the Rebel series, and then goes into hiding when she loses a game. When a coach doesn't play the game right, do they go into hiding? No. George Lucas wrote, directed, and even did a press tour and interviews during the prequels. Kathy will not only show up if she's awarded. She hasn't faced the music. There is a division in the Star Wars fandom, and she is missing. That's why we boycott. They are going for quantity, not quality. I boycott because Star Wars used to be groundbreaking. Now the only thing breaking is Star Wars, the fandom, and the magic. The magic of Star Wars. It's not special. They're not taking their time. They're just producing. I boycott because I was lied to. They used the whole movie to show with The Force Awakens, and it started from the opening crawl, saying the search for Luke Skywalker. And then The Last Jedi came and we never got Luke Skywalker. We never got him. I boycott because I want my children and grandchildren to have something special with Star Wars. Not just overly produced generic crap. And to use another analogy, if you buy a luxury car every time when you go to the car dealership, and then suddenly they give you a used Chevy when you pay for a Cadillac, does it mean you're a fan or not a good customer if you accept mediocrity and say thank you for it? That's bullshit. And then you should reevaluate what you are doing as CEO of Collider. Are you being an outlet for consumers, hardworking people that need a voice, and go to a review site or on YouTube so they know how to spend their hard-earned money? Or are you an outlet for big corporations to influence who you should represent? That's what I'm going to put a poll in the comments section below. Do you think Collider, as they are now, are for hardworking people and the consumers, or an outlet for influencing the public? Boycotting works. And if it's all we have. I've watched every episode of Rule of Two, but I feel you need to apologize for saying that consumer voting with your money is wrong. I think you need to apologize for that. Because it's all fans and consumers have. Star Wars used to be about fun and adventure. Huge set pieces that sold the toys for themselves. When George Lucas was in charge, he created fun, inventive characters, huge set pieces, story points, and pushed technology. Star Wars, that was also a big aspect of Star Wars. Every time there was a new Star Wars movie when George Lucas was involved, he pushed technology and it was a benchmark. The prequels get crapped on now, but at the time they were released, they were groundbreaking. Remember that Yoda scene in Attack of the Clones? So when it boils down, when he pulled out his lightsaber and was fighting Dooku. So when it boils down to yet another Death Star, killing off and disrespecting OG characters, and sidelining their storylines for Canto Bight, when we need to deal with our favorite characters and the loss of them. But no, we can't take a moment for Luke to deal with the loss of Han. We have to cut that 20-second scene out and then have Canto Bight garbage. Or when they boil it down to a Disney formula, just another Cantina scene. Yet another mini-doc released before episode 9 saying, we're using practical effects. They don't get it. And Kathy doesn't care. In case of Brie and Captain Marvel, inclusive means everyone. Even old white dudes. And a captain should be a uniter. Not just another snarky white girl social justice warrior. So if you feel, fans, if you feel you need an apology for this comment from Roll of Two, comment below and let Collider and Mark Fernandez know what you think. The CEO of a movie YouTube channel where the majority of his staff sees movies for free. Telling the public that actually pays for their tickets they are wrong. Mark, when's the last time you paid for a ticket? Besides with your integrity for exclusives and for your business. This movement is only getting larger with boycotting. And it's because it's a consumer movement. I am tired of people saying that there's not an audience for big blockbuster movies. When you do it right, when you just go to have fun, people show up. Movies are dying because of junk like this with Disney. They're watering down movies, making them generic, and more interested in a release date than quality. At last, I want to say we need a place where both sides of the fandom could talk about problems with movies. Without the gloss. Rule of Two used to be like that. There have been some interesting discussions on this show, but with recent episodes, you've given into the apologist attitude for Disney and Lucasfilm. And we need the old Mark Fernandez back. But that it also includes, you should also include the consumer's right to demand a quality product, not mass market generic garbage that is more concerned with a release date. If you want a part 2 of this explaining why boycotting is so successful, smash that like button and comment below. And I would love to read all your comments on this one, because I plan on boycotting episode 9 definitely. And for Captain Marvel, I'm just not that interested. So, let me know. See you on the next episode. Have a good one.